Her kitchen is where the magic is made.
Hello there, welcome to my channel or welcome back. I'm Holly, your friendly neighborhood carnivore, and I am so happy you could join me today. Today's special treat that I have in store for you guys is a dairy-free pudding pop. That's right, it is dairy-free, it is high in protein, and it is delicious. So I will warn you guys, this is a little bit more ketovore than carnivore because I do use sweeteners in it, and it calls for cocoa powder if you go for a chocolate version, things like that. But if you are okay with a little bit of sweetener in your life, you are going to love these pudding pops for the summertime. They are delicious. They are a healthier alternative than those high fructose corn syrup sugar bombs that you buy at the grocery store. If you've got kids, they are going to love these too. Be sure to check the description for the recipe, and I will also have some links for some products that might make this a little bit easier to make. For instance, the popsicle molds that I'm going to be using, I'll have the link for those in case you're interested in finding these and giving this a try. Let me show you how I made them. I'm starting off with 2 tablespoons of ghee melting in my pot, and I have got 6 eggs already cracked in a jar. I'm adding some instant coffee crystals. I'm using decaf here. I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of this. And then we are going to be adding some cacao powder. You could also use cocoa powder. I'm adding 1 tablespoon. Next up, I'm gonna add a pinch of salt. And then I'm gonna add some vanilla bean powder. You could also use vanilla extract here. I've got Lakanto monk fruit sweetener with allulose. This actually is mostly allulose with monk fruit extract added to it to bring the sweetness up closer to a 1-to-1 sweetness ratio like table sugar. I'm adding 3 tablespoons of this. I'm going to add a squirt of 1 more sweetener. Typically I'll go with stevia glycerate here, but also I happen to have some chocolate stevia drops here on hand, and I figured since I'm making a chocolate treat, I'm gonna go ahead and use the chocolate stevia drops. It's up to you, whatever you want. This is just gonna round out the flavor of sweet. Now we're gonna use our immersion blender, and we are going to incorporate all of these ingredients really well. And then we are going to pour this into our pot of ghee. Our pot of ghee should be over medium-low heat. Once we get our egg mixture added into the ghee, it is time to babysit the egg mixture. We are going to stir this almost constantly over low-medium heat until it thickens up like a porridge. When you're making a chocolatey flavor like I've got and it's brown, it's going to start to look like a brownie batter. Once you've got it nice and thick like this, it's time to transfer it into another container so that we can use the immersion blender once again. As I get started, I'm going to have the immersion blender on low. I'm going to eventually kick it all the way up to high speed. You are trying to get these eggs to be nice and smooth like pudding. If you need to stop and scrape down the edges, go ahead and do that. And you will eventually get to this beautiful, creamy, silky texture of a pudding. You can see here how thick and beautiful this is. Next thing we need to do is cool this down. I'm gonna set my measuring cup inside a larger container, and I'm going to surround it in ice. And I'm gonna do this for a couple of reasons. One, it's going to help this cool down faster. but 2, because I'm going to move this hot pudding into the refrigerator, I don't want this container of steamy hot pudding to heat up the rest of my groceries in my refrigerator and possibly make them spoil. So by surrounding it in ice, I'm moving a cool container to the cool refrigerator without causing issue to my other food. Also, you might want to put a layer of plastic wrap over your pudding so that it doesn't form a layer of skin on it when you move it to the fridge. It's only going to need about an hour to chill, and then you will be ready to make it into pudding pops. These are brand new popsicle molds for me. I've never used them before, so I wasn't quite sure exactly what I was doing with them. So you will notice that I started with 1 because I wasn't quite sure if I needed to put the popsicle stick in first or fill it and then put the popsicle stick in last. But once I got my first popsicle made, I realized putting the popsicle in first is definitely what we need to do here. So go ahead and load up all your popsicle molds with your popsicle sticks. Fill them all up with your pudding. Once you get the molds filled, make sure you tap them down on the counter to release any air bubbles that might be trapped in there and get that pudding sink underneath the stick really well. And then if you have any additional space, go ahead and finish filling it up and ending with 1 more tap on the counter. This pudding was made of 6 eggs, and all 8 of these little popsicle molds held perfectly the exact amount of pudding mixture this made. Once you've got them all filled, you're going to move these into the freezer, let them freeze overnight. Okay guys, I've got my little pudding pops here. The molds that I had came with the little popsicle sticks and the little bags for these, which I think is amazing. All right, we got it opened up. It's really pretty on the one side. When you flip it over, it's not as cute. He's a little bit lumpy and all that from just having the one-sided mold on there, but it doesn't matter. It's gonna taste delicious. So here's my pudding pop. I love these tiny little sizes so I can have smaller portions. You guys, this is so good. It's such a nice little creamy treat for the summertime. So this is kind of taking me back to my childhood with the fudge pops that I used to eat. Or there was also some banana flavored pudding pops, and I'm thinking maybe some banana extract instead of the coffee and the cocoa powder. I might have to play with that. So many options. So the pudding base for this is the same way I made the lemon pudding. So you can check out that recipe if you haven't seen it yet. I will link that one at the end. But I just changed out the ingredients to make it a little bit more of a mocha flavor. So it's very versatile. You can change that pudding recipe however you want, freeze it, and then you've got some delicious pudding pops. If you guys enjoyed this quick, easy video, I hope you guys will give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe. This is gonna help me reach more people with my dairy-free carnivore and sometimes ketovore content. Dairy-free carnivore is not one that you find recipes for very often, so I'd love to get all the help I can to be able to share this to more people. So like and subscribe to help me out, please. If you are interested in seeing what I eat every day on a carnivore diet, I am almost 4 full years in on carnivore, and you can find me over on X or on Instagram and see what I eat every single day. I love to chit chat with you guys, so make sure you stop by and say hey while you're over there. And while you're hanging out over here in YouTube land, make sure you leave me a comment about these pudding pops. Tell me, what is your nostalgic summertime treat that you think back on that reminds you of your childhood? Who knows, maybe I can carnivore or ketovorize it for you. Don't forget to check out my dairy-free lemon pudding recipe next, and I will see you guys next week. Until then, bye!
She's the friendly neighborhood carnivore with the talent for cooking up a meaty uproar. From juicy steaks to sizzling ribs galore, she'll have you coming back for more. Fellas, smash that like button. She's the carnivore cooking queen. On your screen, bringing the meaty scene. Come on over and join the team for culinary